We all want to have that natural glow, to have radiant skin, shiny hair, and smooth nails. But it's more than just looking good. Our outer beauty can represent our inner strength. On today's program, we'll discuss what our skin, hair, and nails can reveal about our overall health. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez. Welcome to MedTalk Health Talk on CNN Philippines. Our skin, hair, and nails are often associated with vanity. Many of us don't realize they can also be a mirror to our health. With us today is Dr. May Ramirez-Quizon. She's a hair and nail specialist and clinical associate professor at the UP College of Medicine, UP-PGH. And we also have with us Dr. Maria Jasmin Hamora, a dermatopathologist and training officer at the Skin and Cancer Foundation Incorporated. Thank you both for joining us today on the program. Now, what do our skin, hair, and nails say about our general current health? Dr. Hamora, let's start with our skin, which is actually the largest organ of the body, which also serves as protection. How important is skin health or skin care?
It's so important, Freddie, because as you said, it is the largest organ of the body. And not only that, it is the main interface of our being with the environment. So it has to do with vitamin production as well. It protects us from many things like microbes and other environmental assaults. And it will also play a big role in our immunity, Freddie, no? So ang dami-dami niyang roles to play, and it will really reflect our health, no? Kunwari, you're dehydrated, makikita mo rin yan sa balat. Or for instance, meron kang thyroid problems, makikita mo rin yan sa balat, magiging dry, magiging parang wrinkled, lack of good glow. So talagang nakikita yung ating overall health sa skin natin, Freddie.
So marami talagang pwede makita just by the skin alone. And like we said, it's more than just beauty. Now, what do our hair and nails tell us about our overall health and well-being? Dr. Quizon.
Yeah, lots of things. So our hair and nails are like a map to our bodies, and really changes in hair color, structure, texture, strength, of the hair might indicate a problem. And nails and hair are really made up of dead keratin. So the cells that make it up aren't really alive. So what the hair follicle, when it grows, it's the hair starts out in the follicle and the nails start out in the matrix. So both are filled with like live cells. But then as they grow, they die, and then they grow outwards into the skin. And so that pattern of growth, it gives us a lot of clues.
Right. So it's not as simple as a lot of people may think. Now, our vibrant skin, smooth nails, and shiny hair can also mean a body that is strong and healthy. And so when we encounter hair problems, it can be one of two things. It's either hereditary or it could be acquired, like through an infection or trauma. Now, let's explain that. Dr. Hamora, what are the most common non-infectious hair problems that Filipinos may encounter?
So, Freddie, very common din yung hair loss, and in fact, it can cause a lot of stress, di ba? Pag nalalagas yung hair natin, we get a little bit stressed. But the most common ones that we can see is probably yung genetic hair loss. So, if either of our parents have hair loss, talagang it can show on our skin, yung receding hairline, yung parang umaakyat yung frontal hairline natin. Minsan yung dito sa taas ng ulo, nag-thin din sa mga lalaki at sa mga babae. So, that's called male or female pattern hair loss. Another one can be alopecia areata. Minsan sasabihin sa'yo ng hairdresser mo, uy, meron kang pocknut, which is a small circumscribed like round patch of hair loss. That's also quite common, and if it's just one, it's usually not worrisome. Tapos meron din yung mga balakubak sa scalp, no? So the common one is called seborrheic dermatitis. Yan yung parang common balakubak. That's not contagious, although it may have some fungal element. And then yung isa can be psoriasis. So yung mga tao na may psoriasis, they can have a very thick, scaly red plaque on the hairline as well. So these are the most common non-infectious causes of hair loss.
Definitely very interesting and very practical as well. Now, Dr. Quizon, hair loss is natural, but when can you say that the hair loss may be excessive or already unnatural?
Yeah, I think it's important to understand how our hair cycles through the stages, because it has different stages, so that we understand more. So losing 50 to 100 and even 100 strands a day is normal, but and it's really not noticeable. But when you lose like 10 hairs per 100 hairs that you tug or pull. So you can actually do a pull test on your own. So it's called a pull test, but you have to do it in the morning without showering and combing your hair. So when you do pull, grasp about 100 hairs, and then when you pull that hair toward the end and then tug on it very lightly, and you pull about 10 hairs, that's probably abnormal. So a lot of people think that you should not shed, but no, that's we have to shed. So some form of shedding is normal every day, and that's about probably 50 to 150.
Okay, now going back to Dr. Hamora, we talked earlier about the non-infectious skin diseases. Now, what are the common infectious skin diseases that affect the scalp and in turn, the hair?
Yeah, Freddy, usually there are two, no? Two organisms that can affect our scalp. One is bacteria, and we call that folliculitis, yung namamaga yung hair follicle. So sometimes this can appear like parang pimples on our scalp, and the other one will be tinea capitis. This is caused by a fungus, no? Parang amag, no? Basically, buni on the skin can also occur on the scalp, and it can affect the hairs a little bit deeper, no? So this will appear like scaling, like weeping, parang may kaliskis, tapos minsan namamaga siya. So these need to be addressed by a doctor, no? So I recommend that you see a doctor, a board-certified dermatologist from the Philippine Dermatological Society when you have any of these infectious conditions.
When we return, we'll talk about common nail ailments. We'll help you distinguish each one so we can help with addressing or treating them sooner rather than later. We'll be right back. This is Med Talk Health Talk on CNN Philippines. Welcome back to Med Talk Health Talk. Did you know that your nails can reveal clues to your overall health? Let's talk about our nails this time. Now, Dr. Hamora, what is the main role of our fingernails?
So, Freddy, there are three roles for our fingernails. Now, one is to protect our hands, the digits, no? Second is, it is really for sensory, no? We can feel things better pag nandyan yung nails. And thirdly, para siyang tool. Alam mo yung pangbunot ng, let's say, mga bigas. We need our nails to do fine movements, no? So that's what the nails are really there for.
So a lot of things that the nails can be useful to a person, but what do nail abnormalities naman? What can these abnormalities tell us about our health? Still with Dr. Hamora.
Yeah, we can see a lot of things sa nail natin, no, Freddy? So, sometimes the nail color can change if we have infections like Pseudomonas, maging green yan, or minsan namumuti or naging brown, pwedeng fungus, pwede siyang mag-iba ng kulay dahil sa mga iba-ibang gamot. And then even the shape, no? Minsan pag masyado siyang kurba pataas, that's called clubbing. That can happen in people with mga lung problems. Pwede siyang kumurba pababa, no? That's called koilonychia. That can be seen in patients with mga iron deficiency. So many things we can tell by looking at the nails.
Okay, so there are definitely a lot of abnormalities, but my question now is, what can these common abnormalities of our fingernails, which one should our viewers, which one should they be aware of? What are the benign ones, some things that will resolve on their own maybe, and the ones that need special attention? I'll address this question to Dr. Quizon.
And so probably we don't have enough time for me to discuss everything. So I want to talk about so many things, but probably one that's not talked about enough, and it's pretty common, is keratin granulation. So keratin granulation, it's excessive dehydration of the keratin molecules on top of the skin. So when you use nail polish on for too long, you keep it on for too long, when you use the darker colors, red, orange, we don't use a base coat. Sometimes that turns the nails into a chalk-like substance on top. So that's keratin granulation. And a lot of people might think this is fungal infection. And it's important to differentiate the two because one, for keratin granulation, what you need to do is just rest your nails from nail polish, skip it maybe a few weeks, give it a rest, and probably a little moisturizer. While for fungal infections of the nail, you need to have a specialist attention, giving you like oral medications for it. So another common nail ailment is brittle nails. So probably more than 10% of us will have brittle nails, one where our nails easily get damaged when we do something, or even if we don't do anything, it just layers. It layers in several sheets, and it gets peeled off on its own. And another probably is in people whose occupations predispose them to it is eczema, and that can lead to problems. So that's a problem in the skin around the nail. But then, because the matrix, remember, the matrix is that portion of the nail that makes your nail unit, that makes up your nail. You can see it with that crescent white shaped thing, the moon shaped thing under your nail. So that's what makes your nail plate the hard part. So anything that goes wrong in the nail and affects that area will produce a bad nail. So a lot of Filipinos like to do that. We like to cut the cuticles, but it's really not recommended because that can be a portal for bacteria and fungi and viruses to go in and cause chronic problems, so long-term problems to the nail.
Now, Dr. Quezon, are there certain nail diseases that are more common in children and in adults?
Oh yeah, so I can give you a few. So, well, kids being kids, so usually those with genetic problems, those with inherited problems, would manifest nail problems. So if that's part of the disease that they have, and that can manifest in childhood, so we see them more in kids. Also, if you've heard of hand, foot, and mouth disease, so that's pretty common. So I'm sure a lot of parents have had kids who've had HFMD or hand, foot, and mouth disease, and after maybe 2 months, you get that separation of the nail, and then a few weeks after, the nail sheds or falls off. So that's onychomatosis. And that usually occurs after hand, foot, and mouth or any other viral infection.
Okay, we'll take a quick break, but when we return, some practical tips on how to keep our hair, nails, and skin healthy and glowing. Stay with us right here on Med Talk Health Talk. There are many ways to keep our skin, hair, and nails healthy, and we should never overlook the importance of caring for these parts of our body through a healthy lifestyle. The thing is, poor skin, hair, and nail health can also leave our bodies vulnerable to other diseases. And by taking care of them, we're also taking care of our overall health. We can do this in very basic ways. Now, Dr. Quezon, what are some of the tips that you can give our viewers to get their skin and hair and nails healthy?
Actually, probably a good advice is to keep it clean and eat a well-balanced diet. Keep yourself healthy. If you see any abnormalities, go to a specialist. So I'm sure we've heard a lot about how to keep the skin healthy. You should, apart from being clean, you should moisturize it, keep it as supple looking as possible. Try not to overdo your regimen. Don't make it so complicated. Keep it simple. As for the hair, so there are lots of things. So we should also keep our hair clean, but also to trim it regularly to reduce the split ends. Also to when you shampoo, you direct it to your scalp. So that's probably a good tip. So direct the shampoo to your scalp and conditioner to the ends of your hair. So the shampoo is really for removing dirt, or oil, and conditioners are really for conditioning your hair, making it smooth, so it belongs to the bottom part of the hair. And also to avoid using chemicals, because these can make your hair brittle and dry, and also to be careful when you use heat. So for example, when you blow dry your hair, just be gentle and don't blow dry too much. If you have to curl it or iron it, let it completely dry, because otherwise you'll be steaming your hair. And also when you just shower, probably just wrap it around the towel, air dry it. That's the best, because wet hair is hair that's easily damaged. So much like the nails, when the nails are soft, that's the after bath, that's the best time to cut the nails. And also don't push the cuticle, don't cut the cuticle.
Factor din ba ang excessive use of shampoo and conditioner at frequent salon treatment that you mentioned sa pagkakaroon ng hair and scalp problems? Still with Dr. Quezon.
Yeah, of course. So this can impact the way your hair looks like because frequently styled hair, especially when you use heating and curling, etc., it really can cause hair damage to the shaft and sometimes on your scalp as well. So when you pull that very tightly, so some hairstyles might require you to pull your hair very tightly, and that can lead to damaged follicles. So over time, it can affect how your hair looks like. In some climates, it's not advisable to shampoo it every day, but in the Philippines, it's acceptable. So some people try not to shampoo because they think it will exacerbate their hair problem. But really, you have to understand first what the hair problem is in order to um, see if, like, using conditioners and shampoos and washing it will affect it.
Dr. Hamora, ngayong may COVID-19, part of our new normal is the regular use of alcohol and hand sanitizers, which might leave our skin dry. Ano po ang pwedeng gawin to keep our skin safe while doing these safety measures?
Absolutely. Alam mo, Freddy, it's so important for us to wash our hands, no? Especially sa panahon ng pandemya. But it's important to understand that soaps and alcohol can be very drying talaga to the hands. It strips away the natural moisture layer of our hands. So it's important to use as mild a soap as possible kasi kahit ano namang soap will really, as long as we wash our hands 20 seconds and properly, mawawala naman yung mga bacteria and viruses, ano? So use as mild a soap as possible. And then if you're going to use alcohol, we can also use alcohol-based cleansers. Kaso, afterwards, it's best for us to put a lotion on our hands, no, pagkatapos. So, mas maganda yung mga fragrance-free lotion na wala masyadong chemicals. Doesn't have to be antibacterial. Basta mild soap, we can use alcohol, and after we wash our hands, dry it, and then apply a mild lotion or moisturizer.
And more than anything, a healthy diet is key in achieving healthy skin, hair, and nails. Now, doctors, what foods can improve our skin, hair, and nails health? Let's start first with Dr. Quezon. What type of food should our viewers eat in order to have healthier hair and nails?
I think as long as you eat a balanced diet, you're covered. There isn't really enough evidence to say that eating more food rich in something or even vitamin or mineral supplementation will improve hair or nail quality. But there are vitamin and mineral deficiencies that manifest changes in the scalp or in the nails. So I'd like to focus probably on biotin because this I'm sure a lot of people have biotin in mind when they think of hair or nail problems. And we really have to rethink this popularized use and promotion of biotin for improvement of hair and nails by the media and physicians alike, despite the lack of evidence supporting its routine use.
And Dr. Hamora, what regimen should the viewers keep to maintain healthy skin, hair, and nails?
Yeah, Freddy, a healthy body will show on our skin, our hair, and nails. So, what do we need to do? We need to sleep 7 to 8 hours a day, drink at least 2 liters of water a day to stay hydrated. As Dr. Rakizon said, a balanced diet. But I would recommend also, Freddy, let's try to avoid mga processed food, mga fast foods, mga heavily processed foods with a lot of sugar. Yun, iwasan ho natin kasi those can trigger inflammation in the body, no? So we want a diet that's very rich in vitamins and antioxidants. So madaming gulay, madaming prutas, lahat ng iba-ibang kulay, no? We know that there are many vitamins and minerals and antioxidants in all of these fruits and vegetables. So yun, those are the basic tips for eating a good diet.
So the key there is balance and eating all those nutritious food and balancing everything with just an overall healthy lifestyle is the best way to take care of our hair, nails, and pretty much our entire body. So with that, I'd like to thank our guests for today, hair and nail specialist Dr. May Ramirez Quezon and dermatopathologist Dr. Maria Hazmin Hamora. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and this has been Med Talk Health Talk on CNN Philippines. We'll see you next time. Please stay safe.